Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav, and in this video we are going to see the GUI and features of Testim, and I will show you a demo, and during the demo we will see the different features and also see the different UI sections of Testim platform. This is going to be very easy and very interesting. So let's get started, and you can log into your Testim account. I have logged into my account, and here you can see we have different sections here. If you see the left panel, the side panel here, we have the insights, editor, test list, runs, auto grouping, settings, users. So we will see all these sections and we will see a demo and see the features as well. So we will start with the insights, where we can see the project dashboard and reports. So here you can see the dashboard and reports, and you can see the high level activities of your project, the recent runs and the reports here. We also have a section here where you can see all the activities and things assigned to you, and you can see the dashboard and the high level overview of all these activities. And then the next section is the editor section, and this is where we create our tests. We can record the test, debug the test, edit the tests and run them and check them if everything is fine. So this is the section where we will spend most of our time. So here I will go to the editor section, and you can click on new test from here to create a new test, and then we will give a name to the test. So let us say, I will say this is my first demo. You can give some meaningful names here, and then here we have the different statuses for the test. So as we start the test, it is in draft status, and then once you have completed the test and everything is fine, you can change the status to active. In case we make it in a evaluating status, in that case, if we are running this test in a CI/CD pipeline or a build, in case the test fails, it will not fail the build, and that is why because it is in a evaluating state, so it will not fail the build. And in case we make it to quarantine, it will not run in the build. So we can change the status from here, and then here you can see all the steps in the test will be shown as cards here. The very first step is the setup step. If you click here and go to the properties, it will show you the properties here, and here you can see all these things. We have the base URL here, the test name, the description, then the owner. We can also mock the network, so we have all these options here, and then we also have the configuration. So if I edit the configuration, you can see the browser, the operating system, resolution. We also have the step timeout, so by default it is 30,000 milliseconds, that means 30 seconds. You can change this from here. We have the step delay in milliseconds, setup step timeout here. Then we have all these native events. We can also set before and after hooks from here, and then there is also an option for test data. In case you want to give some test data, it will take you here. Here we can add a JavaScript for test data, and then we also have option to upload the file from here. I will go back, and then you can see here at the bottom we have a link that says see older versions. So whenever we make some changes to our test and save them, in case we want to see the history and go back to some older version, we can do from here. I will show you that in a moment. For now, let us see here. You can see the default configuration is here, the base URL is here, and step count. As of now we have a single step. So for now, let us say I will change the base URL, and I will record a test on google.com. so I changed the base URL here, and then I will click on save. So whenever we save, we have an option to give some message, which will be very useful. In case we want to go back and see the history, we will know what are the changes we did at this particular step. So I will say updated base URL. You can give meaningful messages here, and this is optional, and then I will say save. So this is saved, and now I will start recording. So we have got the recording button here. I will click on start recording, and it opens the browser, takes us to google.com. Here we also have this message, we are recording your test, and once finished we will click on the stop button here. So I will go to the search box and type Testim here, and I will go to this first link, testim.io, and you can see all these steps are getting recorded here. We have got 4 steps recorded as of now, and you can also see here it is recording all these steps. So now I will continue recording. I will hover over developers link here and click on record test, and I come here to this page. So that's it. I will stop for now. I will click on this stop button, and it takes us back to the editor here, and you can see all these steps are recorded. So the first thing I will do is I will click on this save button, and I will say recorded steps, and all these are recorded. You can click on any of the step and you can go to the properties and can see the properties here, and here you can see all the details about the step. Okay, and we also have the screenshots here, so you can click on here and see the screenshot. So for this one, if I go and check, this is the screenshot here, so you can see all these details here. And now I will very quickly run and check if everything is running fine. So we have got the run options here. We have run in incognito mode, run locally with debugging, run locally, and run on a grid. So I will say run locally with debugging for now, and let us see. It goes to google.com and it will type Testim here, and yes, it goes here. And now, so if I check, so you can see it is trying to run this particular step. So here it has failed, and you can see here it says step failed, element is not visible, opacity is too low. And then if I click on this see error, I can see all the details. So this was the baseline image when we recorded the test, and if you see the current image here, the result, the current image here, so here you can see it did not hover over the developers link. So that means it has not recorded the hover action. So for that you can go back to your test here, and after this step we have the hover action, so you can manually also add. So when you go here to this step and hover over here, we have options here. So it says Testim predefined steps. I will go here and you can see all these different actions and steps are here. We have validate element text, validate element visible, then we have validations, wait for, action steps. So I'll just search for hover, and we have add hover action, and you can see it takes us back to this screen. I will select the element, and yes, you can see this is now recorded. So if I go here and check the properties, it will hover over this particular element. So let me save this. I will say edit hover step 5, save, and now I will run again and check. So it opens the browser, goes to google.com and types Testim, goes here, and yes, it is now doing the hover action, and now you can see everything is running fine, everything is in green. So you can see all this is in green. Also you can see the icons here. This is a browse action, browse tab, this is a click step, this is typing something or setting the text step, again this is a mouse action, this is hover action. So you can see all this here, and then here also you can see, if you go to any of the steps and go to the properties, here you can see we have got all the details here. So here we see the test, the description, and you can also see we have this link here. If I click here, it will take us to the documentation for that particular step. So this was a hover step. You can see all the details of hover step in the documentation. We also have this link for learning about parameters here. Then here you can see the target element, and here if I go to view locators, so if I go to highlight, it will highlight it on the screen if that element is there on the active screen. So let me just go back, and now if I say highlight, you can see it is highlighting it here. Okay, so this is getting highlighted, and then we can go to view locators, and here you can see this is the target element. If I check all the properties, you can see all the properties used to find the element or locate the element. I can also click here and it will show me the target element, and here we don't just have the properties of the target element but also the parents. So it takes all the parents into account, and right from the root it takes everything into account and then finds that particular element. So it is very intuitive and this helps us a lot. You can, for example, if I go to parent 5 and click this, you can see this is the parent 5 of this element. If I go here, parent 4, so this is the section. Then if I go here, parent 2, so this is the highlighted section. So here you can see all these details. You can also check or uncheck all these properties from here. Okay, and then we also have options to set when this step fails, if we have to mark error and stop execution, if we have to continue or make it as a warning. And then we have options for when to run the step, so always run, or when some particular element is visible, or there is some particular element text, or custom. So if I say element visible, I can select what element should be visible and only then run this test. Okay, so I can do this. Then we can also have some custom script to set the condition for running this test. So all these options are here. Okay, so I will say always run for now. Okay, and now if I go to the setup step and go to the properties, and we have see older versions here, you can see I can go to the earlier versions as well. So this was the change when I updated the base URL. I can say view, and here I will first have to save. I will save everything, and then I will go here, view, and you can see here it takes us to the earlier version. Also it gives us a message at the top, you are not watching the latest version, go to the latest. So I can go back to the latest from here as well. Now as of now we have recorded these steps, but we have not yet added some assertion. So until now this is not a actual test because we are just recording some steps like a scenario and not actually testing anything. So let us add some assertions. So again let us go, let us say I will go to this particular step, and here if I go to Testim predefined steps, let us say I will go to, we have options for validations here, all the validation actions are here, then wait actions are here, these are all the different actions. So let us say I want to validate element text. I will say click this, and then let us say I should be on the last page. So let me first go to the record test page. Now I will say Testim predefined steps, validate element text, and here I will select this welcome aboard, and you can see this will come here. A new step is added here. So here we have got this step added, which is testing for this particular text, welcome aboard, and we can also see this is the target element. So let us just save. I will say added assertion step. I will save and run again and check. So it starts the execution, and here looks like everything is running fine. So what happens if it fails? So I will go to the step here, and let's say here this is the expected value, and I will change this to something, let us say welcome aboard 123, and I will save this and run again, and let us see what happens this time. So it goes here, and yes, now it should be trying to check for this message. You can see here we are on this particular step, and here it has failed, and we can see here it expected welcome aboard 123, but actual was welcome aboard. And here we can also see the error. So this was, you can see the baseline image, result image, or both side by side here, and we know this is because we have changed this. So I will change it back to welcome aboard, and we should be fine this time. Okay, so here we have done all these things here. Now we can also group the steps. For example, so as we have recorded, it has recorded all the atomic steps, every action it has recorded as a separate step. But in case we want to group some steps for our own understanding and making it more like a scenario and not to have very atomic steps, we can do that. So let us say this step, these three steps I want to group. So you can click on the steps. If you are on Windows, you can press Control key and click the steps. If you are on Mac, you can press the Command key and then click all the steps you want to group. So I will group these steps here. I will click on these steps, and then here we have Add Group button here. So click this, and I can give it some name. I will say go to Testim home page, and here we can make it as a shared group. So in that case we can also use it in other test cases, but as of now I will uncheck this, and I just want to use it in this test, and I will say confirm, and we can see now we have grouped all these three steps into a single step. Okay, so I will save. I will say grouped steps and save it, and I will run it again, and let us see what happens. So it goes to google.com, and yes, it is running the steps. So it is running all the steps, and it's running fine. Okay, then we have already seen the predefined steps. So here whenever you go to any of the step, and here you can see we have Testim predefined steps, and if you go here we have got all these steps here. So all the validation steps are here, then we have wait steps here, action steps are here, and then also some Salesforce specific steps are here. So this can be very useful. You can add any of the validations or wait steps directly by going to the predefined steps. Also, in case you create your own groups and share the groups, you can find them in the shared steps as well. Okay, so this can be very useful and very handy. Then we have debugger here. So if I go to this open debugging helper, I can run my test in debugging mode. So you can see here we can run in a debugging mode, and then I can add breakpoints. So let's say after here I want to add a breakpoint. So here we have a breakpoint. You can click here on this pause button, which is a breakpoint, and now you can see it is now set. And if I now run it in a debug mode, it will come until this step and pause, and then I can check all the details and then go over step by step. So I will now say run locally with debugging, and it will pause at that particular breakpoint, and you can see it says the test reached a breakpoint, go back to editor. So I will go back to the editor, and you can see it has stopped here, it has paused here. And we have this toolbar here where we have option to go to the next step, or we can go inside the step over, step into. So this continue will continue the test, this will go to the test, this will run the step, this will run the test step by step. Then we have all these options here, and then you can also see the logs here at the bottom. So we can see all the different logs. We can also set the levels of the logs from here, and we can see all the details here. Also we can see all these properties here. In case we have any test data, we will also see the parameters. As of now these are empty, but let us say if we add some test data here, I will go to test data and let us say something, name John, and here I will, for now I will just run the test, rest of the test, and then I will save it. And now I will stop this and run again. I will again run in a debug mode. So this time we have also added some test data. So if I go back to the editor and I go here and see the parameters, you can also see name equals John. So this will also help us. We can see what are the parameters at this particular point, what is the state of the application, and all the details we can see in debugging mode once we add the breakpoints. So I'll stop it now. And we can also duplicate the steps. We can copy paste. So you can copy any step, just click on the step and Control C and Control V, or Command C and Command V. We can copy like this. You can also select multiple steps and then we can copy the steps. Okay, and then once you have completed, we can save the test, and here at the top you can see we can see the configuration, the base URL, the run parameters are here, then we can see the step count, and you can see all these configurations are here, and then you can see all the logs from here, and then here we have all these options, cut, copy, paste. Then we can also add labels to the test. So labels will help us when we are running the test. So you can add labels from here. We have all this step properties and then save button. So all this we have here. Then we have the test list. Here you can see the list of all your tests here. So you can see this is here, and if you want, so you can see this was the test. So if you click here, double click on the test from here, you can go back to the editor from here. We can also change the status of the test from here, and you can see all the test runs also from here. Okay, so local editor runs, counted runs, all this you can see from here. So this is the test list. Here we also have option to add test folders inside the current folder. We can make folders here. Here we have some advanced filters, so you can filter the test based on their status, or you can see the flaky tests, and we can filter by label, owner, etc. And then we can also export to CSV. So these are the tests. Then if you create any suites, we can see the list of the suites here. Here is the button to create a new suite where we can select our tests and create test suites. Then we can see the plans here, so we can create the test plans and give all the information here about the test plan. And then we have the labels here, so we can create new labels here and then we can assign the labels to our tests. Then if you have any shared steps, you can see the shared steps here. Then we have the runs section. So if I go to this runs, here you can see all your runs, executions, test runs. Now here in the executions section, if you run any test suites or test plans or a set of tests, you will see the details here. Then here test runs, you can see all your test runs, so we can see all this here. Okay, all the test runs here. Then if I see the local editor runs, you can see all the local editor runs. So what we were doing now was the local runs, so you can see all our local runs here. And here you can see the test, you can go to the details and it will take us back to that particular test. So you can go from here also. I'll go back to the test runs, and here we have all the filters. You can see all this here, and you can also set the filters from here and see all the details here. Okay, we can see the scheduled runs here. We can also set new scheduler, so here we can set scheduled runs, and here we have the configuration list. We can create new configuration, so here we can select the operating system, the browser, then we can set the resolution, and then we can create new configuration. And this configuration we can also set while we are running our tests, or while we are in the test editor, while we are creating and running our test and checking. We can set the configuration there, and we can create the configurations from here. Okay, then we have the auto grouping. So here we can combine the steps to remove duplicate steps, and to reuse the steps we can use this. So it also checks our tests, and you can see it says 5 duplicate steps found in 2 tests and groups, 3 duplicate steps found. So you can see all this, so it will give you all the details. And then if you want, you can create a shared group and then use these steps, shared steps, across your tests. Okay, then we have the settings here. So here you can see your project settings. Then we have the CLI here. Here we can select our CI platform, and then we can set the grid here, and then the runner mode. Then we have the branch. If we have any branch, we can set it here, and then similarly we can set everything to run from a CI. And then in case you want to run locally, then again you can set from here, and whenever you set all this, you can see the commands getting generated here. You can copy the command directly after setting all these fields. We can copy the command and then use the command. Okay, then we have the API section here. So Testim has the REST APIs, and if you want to use the Testim's REST APIs for your executions, running the test, or any kind of management, we can use these APIs. So we can generate the API keys here and then use the APIs. Then we have labs here. Here we can see some early releases and new features, and we can also see our tests in a graphical view here. So you can also read more about this here. So you can see your tests like this in a graphical visualization. Okay, then we have integrations. So you can see integrations, general integrations, bug tracking, test management. So all these different tools and platforms that we can integrate with are here. We have GitHub, Bitbucket, ApplyTools, Slack. Then for bug tracking we have Jira, Trello, Slack, GitHub. Then test management, we have test trail, Tricentis Q test, Tricentis test management, X-ray, etc. So we can see the details about all these integrations. Then the report part here. In case you want to get the reports in emails, you can set the emails here, and then we can get the reports in emails. And then this is here where we can set up the email services. Okay, so we have already seen the settings here, and then finally we have the users section here where you can see the details about your user. So you can see all the details here. We can also add teammates. We can give the email and then invite the teammates here, and then you will see all the details here. Okay, then at the top you can see some help resources. So here you can see we have these help resources. We have the Testim documentation. Here we have the Testim guide, and this will take you to the Testim usage examples. So if I click this, it will take you to this Testim usage examples project, and here you can see some demo here, some examples here. Then this will take us to the Testim guide, and you can see all these here documents and links here, and this will take us to the Testim documentation. Okay, so here we have all these help resources, and then we can see our user profile and account information here. So if you want to see your account information, you can go from here. Okay, and then we at the bottom you will see these two icons. One is for knowledge center, and then the other one is for chat and communications. So here let me go back to my project, and you can see here at the bottom we have this knowledge center, and you can see all the resources here. You can also start typing, and you can see all the different options. So you can see all these here in the knowledge center, and then this is the chat and communications section here where you can chat and get your answers from the Testim team. Okay, so this was at a very high level the overview and the features, and we have also seen the demo. I hope this was very useful for you. If you have any questions, you can let me know, and I will see you in the next section of Testim. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.